So today we're taking a look at a figure that I am very excited about. This is the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Buzz Lightyear Alpha Suit figure from the newest Disney Pixar movie, Lightyear. Now, I was excited for this figure before I even watched the movie. Actually, this figure went up for pre-order before the movie even came out. But the figure released very fast. They put up pre-orders just weeks before the release of the movie and the release of the actual figure. I want to say only a couple weeks ago this thing went up for pre-order, and now it's already here. So super happy with that turnaround. They never really do that. Normally we expect to wait at least a few months before the release of a figure, but it looks like they had this thing made already when they put up pre-orders, and they were just that confident that it would do pretty well or sell really well, unless they really made small quantities of it, which may be the case seeing that the pre-orders sold out fairly quickly, at least overseas. But with that said, let's take a look at what the figure has to offer. I like the box. I believe this is like a single one-off release. I don't think we're going to get any other characters from the movie, unfortunately. But I guess never say never. I think at the very least we will get the main villain. So that is maybe a strong possibility in my opinion. Here's the side. Nothing really going on the sides here. We get another look at the figure there. And on the back side, of course, as always, we get the figure posed up and we can see some of the accessories that he comes with. Without further ado, let's crack this thing open and check it out. As I anticipated, this figure is everything that I hoped for and then some. It does fall short in one area though, but overall, the figure looks fantastic. It's a very good looking figure with a lot of accessories. So let's take a look at what he comes with. So in terms of alternate body parts, we have an alternate head sculpt, and this head sculpt has the space suit around his head. So the one we saw earlier had just the hair right here. So this is the one you wear when you don't have the dome over his head. But when you do have the dome over his head, which is right here, I did put it in here, even though it's not a body part, but it goes over his head. When you have this one, then you want to put on the space-suited head sculpt right there. And then we have the alternate hands, which we do get a pair of pointing fingers, a pair of open hands, and then a pair of trigger fingers for his weapons. And now for his equipment accessories, we have a bevy of weapons and equipment here for his suit. And first off, we do have his laser sword here, which pretty much acts as a lightsaber. This thing is pretty badass in the movie. I did watch it. It was a fantastic movie. I loved it. A lot of people disliked it for whatever reason, or a lot of people just thought it was an okay film. I enjoyed it. I do want to see it again, but I definitely can't wait for it to come out on Disney Plus. I don't have to go to the theaters to see it again. But it was an awesome movie in my opinion. So I can't wait for it to come out on Disney Plus where I can view it for a second time, and from the comfort of my home when there's no kids screaming, because if you're going to a Disney Pixar film and you're an adult, you got to go in there expecting that there's going to be a bunch of kids, and there was a bunch of kids and they were yelling and crying like crazy. So there was a lot of scenes where I didn't really hear what they were saying. So I definitely can't wait to see it at home, just in peace and quiet. But overall, I enjoyed that movie very much. So, laser sword, very badass weapon that he has, which I don't think the original Toy Story Buzz Lightyear had that, nor do I think it had a gun, but he does have a pistol gun, which is awesome. He's a space ranger, and they're supposed to have weapons. This thing's like, they're pretty much like the military in that universe, for that world where he comes from. So, it's very cool. Here is the pistol. It's white and black with a little bit of a peg hole action going on there. There's no laser, there's no effect, but it seems like you could probably 3D print one and easily put one in there. And then we have uh, his laser shooter, I guess, which is wrapped around his forearm, his right forearm. So there's that, and then of course we have the iconic wings, so he can fly. You can fly? Yeah. So here it is. Very cool, very nicely detailed. It's pegged in through the back. Right now, in this mode, you can see the wings here collapsed in, but you can just unpeg them. They come off, and then you replace it with the extended out wings, and I believe it goes with the yellow portion. Yeah, the yellow portion up top. And then take the green one out and replace it with the green one over here. And now you have it with the wings extended out, and now you can fly. Very cool. Then we have a holster here. This is a little removable holster for his pistol, so you can put it on his side hip. There is a part here on his thigh, which you can remove. It looks like it's part of the suit, but you can see if I can get my nail in there. I cannot. I literally cannot get this thing out with my hand, but I should be able to get it out with this knife. There you go. So it's in there. Whoa, it's in there pretty flush, and there it is. There's the peg hole. So I like that they did that because you don't have to always have the holster there if you're not using it. So we can just peg this in, and now it's so like if you were not using it at all, you would just have this thing sticking out from his side of, of his leg, and now you don't have to. Here it is, holstered in there. So that's pretty nice that they added this, piece there. We also do get this piece here, which is the holster for the laser sword that he has, and this pegs into his back right here. So you can see the little divot here that comes off way easier, and then you just peg it in place, and there you have it. And the same concept here, you can holster his sword or his blade as so, and if you don't want to use it at all, then you can pop it off and cover it up with this plastic piece, and now you're good to go. Also, this serves as the peg hole for his backpack here. So let's get that attached. And just like that, we have his wings attached. And there's our Buzz Lightyear. Now, of course, I do want to swap out the head and put the dome in. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we do that, I do want to point out that I do feel like the head could be a little tighter. It's not super loose, but it's not super tight. I just hate how easy it is to move around. Just pointing that out, at least on my specific figure, it's a little on the loose side, and you guys know how I feel about that. Now let's go ahead and attach the proper head here for when he is in space, and this seems to be a little bit more of a tighter fit. Now, there you go. See how that looks. So that's more of our traditional looking Buzz, and this one's a little bit more tighter than the one with the hair over here. The look that we're used to based off Toy Story. And what we're supposed to do here for the dome, you can see here, is we gotta replace the little pieces here. So let's see how this works. I believe you pull it out. I might have to take the head off again. Alright, so you pretty much just grab it with your thumb and slide it up. Slide it up and that comes off. Grab this one, slide it up and that comes off. And now you should be able to attach the head sculpt in there, and then attach the helmet, and this is gonna go in this way. So we get that lined up, and that goes, well, actually we want to pose up the head, because once you enclose his head in there, you will no longer be able to move his head. Here, let's get him looking kind of like to the side here. So there you go. Now we're gonna get a nice little glare here because of the lights I have, so try to ignore those two white dots there. Those are from the lights that I'm using. But there is the dome, and like I said, you're going to have to keep taking off the dome and pose the head as you wish. But that looks very dope. Very happy with this. This does not slide back and forth or anything like that. This just simply pops off as you saw from the top, and that's it. So I do like the look of him overall with everything on, man. I got the backpack on there, or I don't know what you call this, the jetpack or the flight pack. We got the weapons on, we got the gun, we got the sword, and he looks pretty darn awesome with everything. Now, trying to photograph the figure might be a pain in the butt because of the glare on the dome there. I'm sure there is some Photoshop magic people will play around with and get that to go away, or I'm sure there's photography magic to do it all tangibly, but for the casual photographer, for the casual person, you're gonna see the glare, you're gonna see everything on this thing. I even turned these lights off and just held it in a normal lit room, and I could see the glare of the lamp across the room on his dome. So it just right now I can't get a good angle where those things, those two lights look decent. It just looks so crazy. So try to ignore that for the video because he looks awesome with the dome. So if you could try to ignore the lights on this video, then hopefully you can see past it and you can see how awesome this thing looks all together. Now, of course, we can take it off and have him without it. He can have the space suit on even without the dome. Maybe he's indoors, he just came from space. So we are going to take a closer look at the figure. Before we do that, I do want to mention that there is a removable circle piece here, just like you remove the other plastic pieces. This comes off so you can peg in a stand. It doesn't come with a stand, but it does come with this waist grabber, crotch grabber, whatever you want to call this, but no stand. So it's kind of funny. I don't know why this cost them too much to include now. They used to include stands all the time, but now they're just including the grabber and not the actual basin stand, which is just absurd in my opinion. So now you're going to have to locate another basin stand. I don't think they sell them separately. Maybe they do. Maybe that's their tactic now because they want to sell it separately. But anyways, he comes with this, and this is actually meant to go underneath him, so you can get him in a flying pose. So if I separate this, it's actually really tight too, so it should hold him very well. But it's supposed to hold him like this when he's flying. So that is what this is meant for. And if you have a basin stand, just a regular one lying around, then you can peg it in directly to the backpack instead of to this piece and have it displayed with him maybe like hovering up or whatnot. So you have some options, but he doesn't come with the basin stand, which is kind of unfortunate. Alright, so for the sake of the video, because it's driving me absolutely crazy, I'm going to take the dome off so we don't see those glares anymore. But here's a closer look at the figure, and everything is painted on and printed on super perfect. Like, I cannot complain about anything that I see here. We got some nice green paint, purple, white, dark gray. The colors of the buttons here, blue, green, and red. Got the logo there of the Space Rangers. Then we got his last name, Lightyear. And right below that, we have the little red switch. Moving on to the arm, the right arm to be more specific, we have the number 1 with a little print printed on there very, very nicely. As I zoom in just a little bit here, you can kind of pick up what it says, but it does say Star Command on top. And then on the other arm, we have the SR for Space Ranger. And that's printed on perfectly as well. Here you can see the forearm. The whole mold is done very accurately. You got the paint job there, the purple and the green. Going down to the abdominal area and the groin and down to the legs. Here we can see some more printed on caution symbols on his thighs and down to the boots or the feet. Here's the bottom of the feet, detailed as well. Here's the back side. And those wondering, there is no Andy on the bottom of the boot. Then here's the backpack, which is an optional piece. So if I take it off, we're going to see a peg hole here. Of course, like I showed earlier, there is that plastic piece to replace it with, and here is the detail of the backside there. We got Lightyear printed on, and then the number 2. And there you go, that's your closer look at everything. Overall, I am very satisfied with the paint job and the sculpt and everything. There's nothing sloppy, there's nothing that I can complain about here at all. It's super clean and it looks wonderful. Here you can kind of see the neck. I didn't really show the head super close up, but I really like the head sculpts. The paint job here, I got the blushing of the cheeks, nice rosy cheeks there. Eyeballs are painted on pretty nicely. As for the alternate head, there is a slight smirk, so there's a difference. And then you can see the hair, which I think this was the first time we got to see Buzz Lightyear's hair ever. I don't think Toy Story ever showed that. So that's cool to see. So as for articulation, man, this thing moves quite a bit. He looks up all the way, which is awesome. So when you have him in a flying pose, that's going to work out because you just put the dome over his head and move, adjust the head first, of course, to look up. And then also you got the torso articulation, let's not forget that. But yeah, the head moves all the way around inside that dome without any issue. There's a head tilting, there's a head swivel, everything. I mean, this thing is just wonderful. Then we got the arms going forward and back. They do go in and out. We got that shoulder socket, and also that shoulder guard is on that hinge, so that moves around. So if you got to move the arm, then this moves with it and it doesn't hinder it too much. So that's cool. There's that shoulder socket going to work. You can kind of get it moving forward because it's like a butterfly joint here. It does get ugly back here. This is where you kind of want to utilize this piece and cover it up. That looks much better. You can still have the arm extended forward. Then we have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist with a ball jointed hinge at the wrist. Going to the torso, we do get a torso diaphragm joint that swivels all the way left and right. It goes all the way back, as I showed you earlier. He looks all the way down. Look how much he crunches forward. That is pretty darn good. Here's the back side, and they hid the serial number / like Disney, Pixar, the year made in China, all this crap behind the armor. You only see it when you extend him forward like this. So that's an awesome location to hide that crap. We always hate seeing that on the thigh or on the feet. I'm glad that they can hide it behind there. That's an awesome placement there. And then we have the legs, or actually I skipped the waist. The waist does swivel. It's a ball joint, so you do tilt, go forward, back, all the way around. Legs are going to kick forward all the way. They go back down, they go in and out. Check this out. He can pretty much do a full-on split. And then you can move him back down. And we have a thigh swivel. The knees are double jointed, and they bend that far. Almost kicks himself in the behind. And then we do have a ankle hinge going forward and back. As thick and meaty as this portion is, he does move the feet fairly well. So forward and back, there is a rocker. It's very limited because of the design of the suit, but it is there along with a swivel of the ankle, and then there's the toe hinge, pretty big toe hinge for the foot. So overall, he's got all the articulation points that you want on an SH Figuarts. He does not, he doesn't lack any of it. So he is highly articulated for such a beefy, armored up Space Ranger. This is an awesome Buzz Lightyear. I'm finding it very difficult to find something I dislike about this figure. Really am. The only thing I've found so far is a little bit looseness on the neck, which isn't all that bad. But I am slightly disappointed. If you haven't noticed already, what is he missing? Those of you that have watched the movie, he is missing his companion, the cat, Socks. Where is Socks? Why isn't he part of this figure release? He was part of the trailers. The Hot Toys version of this figure comes with socks too, so it wasn't like they didn't give the asset to toy companies to make toys of. I don't know where Socks is, and that sucks, man, because Socks was one of my favorite parts of the movie. When you see the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It literally is one of the best parts of the movie is just seeing Socks throughout the whole movie, and Buzz interact with Socks the whole time. So it's a bummer he's not included. So I really don't own any other Disney Toy Story figures to compare him next to. I don't have another Buzz Lightyear or Woody or anything like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a little random here, but I'll put him next to another SH Figuarts, and this is from Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT more specifically. This is the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So they're in scale with each other, of course. If I move in a Marvel Legends, then of course the scale gets a little weird here because Legends scale bigger than SH Figuarts. They always have. So just to give you an idea with other lines, here is the Hasbro Legends line. Jigsaw next to this Buzz. And here he is next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool. You know, Deadpool just recently joined Disney. So we've yet to see Deadpool 3 from Disney, but we will. And of course he does stand taller, and he's just proportionally, bigger than SH Figuarts, anything. Now if you put the dome on, he does get a little bit more height. And here's another quick pose for you guys. This time with his laser, which I think they ended up changing it in the movie. Because I don't think in Toy Story he had this apparatus around his forearm. It just came out of his armor. So maybe it's an upgraded suit in Toy Story, but he did have 2 different suits. This is the Alpha suit to be specific. That's why it's labeled Alpha suit in the package, because he does gain a slightly more upgraded version of his suit towards the end of the movie, which, you know, this is why he comes with the wings in this release. But yeah, here's a quick pose of him with this on, and just showing you the range of the figure, even though he's this bulky, armored up figure. Now the hand doesn't touch the forearm all the way. It's just very hard to get it that far extended, but it comes pretty darn close to it, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. And now that I'm playing around with his forearm here, it does bring to my attention that he is missing his come in start command. Come in start command, little flap where he opens up on his forearm to talk to start command. Where's that feature? They were missing that one too. I wish that was also included with this release. So maybe there will be another Buzz Lightyear, like a deluxe version or something, if this does it well, where we can get something like that included with it, along with other accessories too. And one last pose here, just playing around with this thing. It's hella fun. I got him on one knee where he's kind of playing around with his laser shooter. This is where that come in start command flap would come into play here. That would have been a very awesome, like, a little photo to get him kind of playing around with his his controls on his forearm. But man, this has got to be probably my favorite figure of the year so far. I'm gonna go as far as saying that. I'm just very, very happy with the outcome of this figure and the overall fun factor. Just the fun I'm having doing this review alone just means something. You know, I gotta say, I think this is at least one of my favorite figures of the year so far. So that about wraps things up on this review of the Buzz Lightyear SH Figuarts figure by Bandai Tamashii Nations. I know this was a little lengthy, but I wanted to go through everything that he came with, and since this was kind of like a special little one-off release, at least I think it is, then I really wanted to spend a little time with it, because I was excited for it, and it paid off 100%. This is a phenomenal figure. I really can't find anything wrong with this figure. I know I'm making a big deal out of this cat named Socks, a robotic cat, but trust me, yeah, that thing is the highlight of the movie. At least it was for me. So overall, I'm happy with the movie. I'm happy with the figure. I feel really no need in buying the Hot Toy version, because this one is so darn good for a fraction of the Hot Toy price. But in 1/12 scale, we also got a perfect Buzz Lightyear, and here he is. So don't sleep on this one, guys. It's definitely as good as you guys think it is. So as always, I appreciate you guys sticking with me and checking out the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'm really curious to know what everyone thinks about the figure. And also, while you're down there, hit the like button and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. There's also a bell notification button, as we all know. If you could hit that, that can notify you every time I release a video. And as always, stay tuned for more content. Take care, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.